Oh, hello. So today we are watching how feeling Cyberpunk 2077 in 2020. Let's start. CD Projekt Red is slowly but surely bringing the game on the acceptable level. Until today, the console Cyberpunks looked, to put it mildly, mediocre. Soapy textures, loadouts, objects out of thin of air, and problematic shadows, one of the most anticipated games of the generic can't look that bad. And even the presence of PS5 of Xbox Series does not save, because the RPG worked on the returning line, yes, from old consoles. So today is special. CD Projekt Red has finally released the next-gen update and patch 1.5 and also revealed all the key changes in the most important and failed game. Inspired by this news, I immediately rushed to the PS5 and downloaded the correct version in order to personally evaluate the changes and generally be back in Night City. Below I share my experience for the first hours of game and answer the main question: is it now possible to comfortably play in Cyberpunk on consoles? So let's start with the most important thing. There have been significantly fewer bugs in the game over the past year. The developers apparently decided to borrow the strategy of the author of No Man's Skies and not give up until the project is polished to a shine. Over the past 12 months, more than 10 patches have been released, designed to fix the technical problems that were most conspicuous. Disappearing story important NPCs, broken quests, buggy scripts, cars dancing breakdance, loading a matter from the protagonist of the location regularly crashes to the desktop. The list of Cyberpunk release is endless, but more importantly, the list is almost empty at the moment. Of course, this does not mean that the game no longer requires patches. You can still stumble upon people getting stuck in textures, street traffic that disappears on the most unexpected moments, and even indigenous garbage bugs on the side of the road, which are the best avoided so as not to bother your vehicle. However, in early Night City consisted almost entirely of bugs, now they occur at worst a couple of times per hour. In this regard, Cyberpunk definitely got pretty, turning from crafts which were the place in the early access mode on Steam into a good AAA project title of quite acceptable quality. If she had left in such state a year ago, then there would have been no scandal around here. Unfortunately, while catching bugs, the developers had to make some sacrifices. The first and the most noticeable is the reduction in the number of objects in the frame, what was proudly shown in the trailers and arrived in a lame state before the release version. It was decided to simplify. Thus, the busy metropolis with the dense traffic and crowds of people on the streets was noticeably empty. The illusion of the living world remained only in a plot important locations, where it was simply indescribable to do without it. Anyone who expected to see an open world like GTA 5 but in a cyberpunk scenery is still going to be disappointed. Local streets with their saturation are more reminiscent of NFC Carbon than are any parts of Grand Theft Auto series. You can accept such an open world only if you expect in advance from the game, mediative trips from one mission to another, and not a city of the future living by its own laws, where anything can happen to the main character at any moment. If the marketing campaign had not tried to present the second option to gamers, the game's reputation would have been much better. In its current state, the open world clearly hints that it was created as an appendage to the story and numerous quests. It was on them that the main attention of the developers was concentrated, who frankly should have made an adventure in a semi-corridor format, which would have happened that not end up in a pile their own ambitions. Not a single quest in the game would have worked properly if the author had not bothered the Preskyple's voluminous heroes, With this studio, CD Projekt Red coped perfectly well. Nice City is inhabited by dozens of bright personalities with their own aspirations, fears and views on the society around them. Appearance, manner of speech, the cases in which they involve we. All of this to see them not as scripted pixels, but as real people. Beyond that, Cyberpunk is finally making its way to next generation consoles. No one has yet announced the exact date, but according to the developers, this will happen no later than first quarter of 2022. This version will be available for free to anyone who has previously purchased the game. Thus, already in March, all owners of PS5 and Xbox Series X and S consoles will be able to walk around the updated Night City and its environs. All of this indicates that the Polish studio takes its dream project with due seriousness. The developers admitted their mistakes, listened to the criticism from Hamming community, and do not intend to give it up until they bring their offspring to perfection. This professional ethic is already bearing fruit. Just look at the rise of positive ratings on Steam. To answer the question in the title, Cyberpunk 2077 is definitely worth playing in 2022. Everyone who was once carried away by the scandal around its unfinished title is waiting for amazing quests, good gameplay, albeit lacking stars from the sky, as well as convincing characters and wonderful, albeit not the most varied story. Moreover, returning to Night City is worth even those who have already managed to get the final credits. Against the backdrop of upcoming patches and additions, is the most welcome to get acquainted with a lot of pledged branches of the game. Rejoice of the absence of bugs and refresh your favorite moments in your memory. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye bye.